Okay, we are on the show, and we're just waiting for Denny to come on. I think Denny is pitching the second game of a doubleheader. So Denny will be on in probably about, a couple more minutes. I just want to just throw out a few guys to thank them. Miles Rundolph, he's my sponsor. Thank you very much for sponsoring me, Miles. Hope your son is hitting the ball, and I hope they're winning some games. And John Giacovelli, I just want to say to John, he does all my memorabilia, and he's doing an unbelievable job, and thank you very much. But Joe, it's great to be able to talk to you and tell the people how you and I met.
Well, it's great to talk to you, Ron. Through Lenny Cosberg about a year and a half ago, we met, and we got to spend a great couple hours hanging out at Harold's Deli in Edison, New Jersey, talking about baseball. And I've been a fan since I'm a kid, so it was a real pleasure for me to meet you and talk to you.
Well, that's the place. I don't know if you saw, that was a place that Joe Q was feeding me the big matzo ball.
Yeah, it was.
I miss that place.
Oh, I do too. They don't make them like that. They're not all over the place.
Oh, down south, we don't have any of that place. I mean, we got matzo balls in a can. No, not in a can, in a jar.
Right.
And that's all we have. And we got a matzah. We do have matzah. And we got pastrami and corned beef, but it's boar's head. It's not the real Jewish
Harold is
food.
the real deal. It's the real deal.
Oh, I miss that.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, I don't even know, because it's so hard to get Yankee games down in Atlanta. We don't get Yankee games down here. Everything the Atlanta Braves. And I'm trying to do everything up. Now, I know that they're doing fairly decent. I think they were 500 now, or one game under. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Higgy, I like him as a catcher. I think he brings an awful lot to that team. People look at him as a backup. I'm looking at, he's hitting the ball. I saw him down in spring training, and I've seen him at a couple of times at Old Timers Day, and he was just coming up then. And number one, he's big. Number two, he calls a great game, and he's hitting. And I like him. He calls a good game.
If you hit, they're going to play you.
On this team, it's the game of baseball is hitting, and that's all it is. It's no pitching. I don't have any idea why we brought Denny on, because he's the last pitcher that will ever win 30 ball games.
That's a
fact.
There'll
be nobody. It's a whole staff doesn't win a whole ball game, because they usually stop after 4 innings, and then you got 4 relief pitchers. That's what you have. And the other night I saw where the Yankees, I think it was down in Tampa, I believe, where it was going extra inning, the 10th inning, and they pulled a guy, one of these crazy rules. They put a pinch run, one of these pinch runners at second base, and they scored, and they won the ball game by a couple of runs. But look at me, look at that Joe Q with mid-pros. And that matzo ball soup right there at Harold's, and we're giving him all the plugs. And I really do miss that. I really do.
And maybe soon enough, maybe they'll open up again, Ron, where you can come out and come to a couple games, and we could head back there, because that was a great time.
Well, Joe, they will. Eventually, it's going to come. It's going to get better. I don't know if we are going to be able to come up to the stadium,
right?
Because we do a lot of stuff, of course, up at the suites, and it's too crowded up there if we are in those smaller suites up there. So that might, that might go a little bit too far. But where's Denny? Is he pitching?
He just texted me. He's having a hard time logging in. I'm going to reach out to Lenny. He just texted me he
What's
can't
up,
get
Joe?
in.
What's up? He can't get in.
Denny said he can't get in. I don't know if you can resend the link.
I guess I can. Okay. He wouldn't be the first person I resent it to. Okay.
Hey, yeah, but don't worry. You know, Denny, I know all the fans are waiting for Denny to come on. We'll have Denny. I know you're getting sick and tired of me, but I'm not getting sick and tired of y'all. This has been fun. I just wanted to let you also know I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this. My book is, Joe, I don't know if you know about my book. You know about my book?
I do.
My
I don't
book
have
is
a copy,
coming.
but
My book is coming out next Tuesday, a week from Tuesday. And The Captain and Me, On and Off the Field. It's about Thurman. And I don't know if you knew that, if the phones are ringing, I have no idea who these people are, anything like that. If I don't know somebody on my flip phone, I never answer.
Phone, huh?
So yeah, I never answer. So it's easy. It's
Absolutely.
real easy with that.
Mhm.
But anyway, the book is coming out on Tuesday next week. I'm so excited about it. It's right now, it's ranked wait a second. You're going to watch me take a phone call. Wait, hello? Nobody's calling. It's all these people they call, it's always unknown. Fans, that's why I never pick up the phone because I have no idea who they are. And with my flip phone, it doesn't tell me who they are. But anyway, the book is coming out next Tuesday. I'm so excited about this. And the Wall Street Journal did a whole big piece about it last week. It's their #1 spring book. And also the Daily News. I haven't told anybody, but the Daily News is doing a feature on me and also the book. It's on Sunday. It's going to be a whole big feature. Sunday, it's going to be on Sunday. And I'm so excited about that. But the people that basically made this book are the fans out there. It's not me. These are the people that are giving me energy to put this stuff together. And people always ask me, is it easy to write a book? I'm going to have Dan Epstein to come on, I think on Thursday night. We're going to advertise that. We're going to be talking about the how the book got started. And people don't realize that it took almost a year and a half to 2 years to get this book started. And it's a great book. I mean, it's really, really, I'm so excited about it and stuff. You think Denny is extra innings now?
I think he's going. He wants to finish it out. However many innings, he's going to finish it.
But fans, Denny will be here. Believe me, Denny will never, ever miss a game where he's going to pitch. So we're going to get him to be the starting pitcher when he comes here. But people always ask me, I was very lucky to face Denny. People don't realize that Denny was really a super pitcher. I mean, he was really, really a super pitcher. And the most incredible thing, what was it? The 1968 where he won 31 ball games. To me, think about that. That's incredible. I don't even know if pitchers even start 31 games, do they?
That's a fact. They don't. They don't even start 31 games. If you look at the end of the year, guys are starting 28, 30, 31, and they're not going enough innings. That Denny had over 100 complete games in his career. I don't think you're going to find anybody with 20 complete games anymore. These pitchers today don't go long enough.
No, I remember when Denny first came up, I was a kid a little bit. I think he's about 6, 7 years older than I am. And I remember when he first came up. And also he pitched down in Atlanta. And people don't realize that he was, I think, he had a place in Atlanta, right downtown Atlanta. He had like a show bar where he played the piano. And I think he played the piano. He played some instrument. I remember that. This is a long time ago, but he was incredible. I mean, he was really, really good. Lenny, is it good luck or bad luck? Are you trying to get him on the phone? Okay, we're watching. Everybody, we're watching to see if we're going to get Denny on the show. Let's see. Let's watch for a minute.
He muted us.
he mute us?
He did. He did. He made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we still could talk. We still could talk to the people, but stay on. We will get them. I promise to you. We got Joe Garrido here. We got Lenny. We got his shaved head. We got his shaved head, and we got Joe Orr, and we got myself. And
Lenny with his Devils jersey.
yeah, with his Devils jersey. He doesn't know it's baseball season.
He's got a hat too.
What kind of hat? Is that a Yankee cap?
That's a Yankee championship hat.
Oh,
So
look
you
at
got-
this.
look at
Look. Yeah. He looks like a Goodwill explosion. He got everything. Look at him.
This one's definitely new for the show, right?
Yeah,
You know,
no.
we've done
Usually,
a little bit of everything. So
yeah, but that's okay. It's, hey, we don't want to be perfect every single night. People know that we don't rehearse. We don't rehearse this.
you know,
I
this
mean,
is
hey,
showbiz.
it is what it is here.
This is
and
showbiz. So you know what?
This is show business. Let's talk a little about baseball. What's the score? Joe, what's the score of the Yankee game?
Give me a second.
Let's find out the score of the Yankee game.
Let's see.
Now, I'm just thinking if Rizzuto was in a situation like
Oh
this,
no! Let's
what
not
would
talk
he
about the
do?
Yankee game right now. They're losing 3-0 in the bottom of the fourth.
Already,
Yes, they only got one hit.
who got the hit?
I don't know who got the hit, but it's not good.
Yeah, but you know, it's so short. It's so, you know, I mean, it looks like they're going to probably play 62 games, hopefully, and maybe this is going to be a season. It might be a crazy season where maybe a few teams that might have to cancel a couple of games. But hey,
I mean,
I'll tell you
doing
one
good
thing, it's
so
better than
far.
last year.
We're
It's
doing good
better-
so far.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So far this year, you know, people are playing. There's been a few postponements. There's been a few things, but you know what? With the vaccine out, we'll be able to get to the stadium. There's fans in the seats this year, so that's already a plus.
but make sure when you go to the stadium, don't sneeze, because if you sneeze, you're going to everybody's going scattered. So
You're
when you
gonna
go
close that
there,
section down.
sneeze out. So make sure when you, okay, now, what, hey, Mr. Leonard, good luck or bad luck?
I don't know. I emailed it to him twice. He says he didn't get it. I just texted it to his phone number. Hopefully he'll get it. Otherwise, I say we fire Joe Roberto.
I'm in
Hey.
New Jersey. He's in Michigan.
Hey, like I told everybody, we don't rehearse. We come on, we talk baseball, and that's what we do. And the good part about it is there's a lot of baseball to talk about. There's a lot of old baseball we could talk about, and the new stuff.
And
And
I say
I
hello. Oh, sorry.
do what? Say hello.
I have a new friend, I guess, Steve Greenstein. He says I look like a New Jersey transit commuter because I'm wearing a Devil jersey and a Yankee hat. I thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah, but the problem is, I don't think Lenny knows how to take the tolls. So I don't know if he knows how to, you know how to take the tickets, or you know where they put the, do they do that anymore on the subway where they put the coin in the slot? They still do that.
God, yeah.
No. They don't. Not in New York City. You're talking about.
We have the Metro card, no?
Yeah, but you don't put any coins.
Card.
Oh, cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah, no tokens or anything.
Let me tell you something that you don't know. I have never, when I lived up in New York, ever, and this is bad to say, I never been on a subway.
Really?
Where'd
Yeah.
you live in New York, Ron? Where'd you live?
Well, I lived up in Riverdale, 232nd Henry Hudson Parkway in Riverdale.
Wasn't like the number one train right around there?
I don't know.
Hi,
I have no idea.
I texted it to you.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Check your text messages.
Tell Danny to throw a fastball. Tell him to throw a fastball to us.
You better hurry up and get on here. Bloomberg's claiming he hit like 5 home runs off of you in his career.
But I gotta say, hey,
Yeah, 908, that's me, yeah.
we talk about it, but Denny was a heck of a great guy. He really was. And I mean, knowing Denny, I never really, only during the season, I would face Denny. Okay. But I actually never met him. But when he was on the Oakland team, when he was a starter for Oakland, that was the time I think he spot started and the A's just got him. That's the time they had Vida Blue, Kenny Holzman, Blue Moon Odom, Catfish Hunter.
Catfish.
They had Raleigh Fingers.
Wow.
Oh, if you want to talk about, hey, Lenny, how in the world do you get two pitchers? And you don't even get to talk.
Yeah.
You don't even get to talk.
Now you're on your phone, huh?
Yeah, he logged in.
But this is, I'm having a good time. I mean, this is, because we're just talking. And I don't know if anybody's listening to us or they saying, I'm not going to listen to these guys. I mean, eventually Denny's going to come on and eventually we're going to talk to him. Eventually we're going to give him a fine, but I guarantee you we don't receive the money.
Lenny, you're muted. You're muted, Lenny. Lenny, you're muted.
Any suggestions? He clicked on the link I texted him, but it took him into Zoom, but not to the meeting.
Oh,
On the phone, does he have obviously he has Zoom set up on his phone, right?
Yeah.
That's strange. Let me see.
Check your email again, Denny.
Okay.
Maybe check your spam folder. The email would be from Zooming with Boomer.
Yeah, I got it. I had that.
Oh, you got the Zooming with Boomer email.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
I just sent you another one like a few minutes ago. Try that one.
Okay. 908?
No, the email from.
No, the area code. So email.
Yeah, I say yeah.
Now, let me get it. It's right there.
So these are the things we have to go through when we go live, right?
You want to take some, can they send you questions at all? And, we'll just answer a few till Denny gets on, hopefully. If y'all have any questions at all, email Joe. How do you do this? I've never done this. Do you?
Well,
email
right now we're looking at, let's see. I'm looking at the posts that people are writing on Facebook right now. So if you want to write your questions on Facebook, we'll try to ask them. And
Somebody said that we need to have Natalie back, and after the way Joe Roberto screwed things up tonight, I kind of.
Yeah, where is Natalie?
She didn't even know your name. She kept calling you Blomberg.
Where is she?
No. Natalie's busy. She works hard, so
She works real hard. She's a wonder. She's going to be a very successful.
So
Everything with that. I'm all over this place.
Joe Roberto, you have any way of like talking him through it?
I'm the least computer savvy guy you're ever going to meet.
Can I just do this?
Well, let me see. Can you hear Danny? I'm going to hold this next to my microphone.
Okay.
Do you guys hear him?
Yeah.
2, 3,
Yeah, we hear him.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. They say they hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, Denny, Ron Blomberg, we didn't want to see you anyway.
Hello?
He got off quick.
Oh, I got to be unmuted. Start again, Danny. I'm sorry.
Bloomberg, have you ever got a hit off me?
Yeah, I did. I got a few hits off of you, big guy. You know what? I miss you, big guy. I really do miss you. I don't know if you remember the time we're up at Cooperstown and we had that show for Molly.
Yeah.
You remember the show?
Yeah, I sure do. We had a lot of fun.
Oh, we had a lot of fun. Let me ask you something. How are you doing, big guy? I haven't seen you in quite a while. How are you doing?
Well, it's been a long. My wife died, and
No. When?
yeah, it's been a little less than a year ago, and
I'm sorry.
it's just tough, lonely, that type of stuff.
I know it. When I saw you up in Cooperstown a few years ago, she was really sick and stuff. And,
Yeah.
I feel so bad for you. I'm praying for you, big guy. And, Diddy, I know how much you care for her. How long were y'all married?
51 years.
51 years. Okay. Well, you got the baseball family, and you always got us and stuff. And anything you need from us, please don't hesitate to call us and stuff. And hey, I love you, big guy. And I've known you for quite a few years, and you're such a wonderful guy and stuff. And I was telling the guys how great a pitcher you were, and even though I told people you reminded me so much of Catfish and how you threw. And you if you can hit me, you're gonna beat me. If I'm gonna throw it to you, you're gonna hit it or you're not gonna hit it. And that's what Catfish did, and that's what you did too.
Yep, that's right.
And that's what made you so good. And
stuff. Be ready.
Yeah. And now a games. Let me ask you a question now. Where are you living now?
Detroit.
Are you still in Detroit? Okay. Let me ask you a question now.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to this, and I heard something about this, and you heard this with 10,000 people about the Mickey Mantle thing. When you throw that pitch, hey, I don't ask pitchers, do they really do that? And people said, he would tell you, he's told everybody. But is that really true?
Yeah, it's true as the day is long. And you know what? We were ahead in the game 6-1, 2 outs. It was the 9th inning. I mean, he could not hit a 6-run homer. So he didn't even know what the hell he was doing for the first. He took both pitches, the first two, and then I yelled at him. I said, "Are you going to hit the? Are you going to hit the fucking ball?" And he said, "What?" I said, "Oh my God, he hasn't got it yet." So I called my catcher out. Price was catching that day, and the next pitch was down the middle, belt high. I mean, you would have hit it 19 miles, and he hit it into the stands. He says, "I'm foul ball though," and he says, "I'm ready now. I'm ready now." I said, "All right, ready now. Here it comes." So, bang, he hit one over the roof in right field.
And then you hit, then you knocked down Pepe, right?
Yep, Pepe came up, and Pepe gets in the box and he says, "Hey, give me one of them two. I want one of them two. That's all there is to it. You and I are friends. We've been friends a long time. We take care of each other. This is camaraderie ship." I says, "Yeah, sure, Joe. Sure, absolutely." So I got the ball, and it had to be the fastest pitch I threw in the entire day, and knocked him on his ass. And
I love that.
The cap was up the third baseline. His bat was up the third baseline, and he had something had flown just behind home plate, and it stuck on the home plate umpire. He had this, whatever the hell it was, this thing on his chest, and I thought laying down there with his on his back, I was thinking, man, I wonder if he's Superman. So no, he wasn't.
Oh, that's funny. That's really, but let me tell you something. And what you did in baseball, they were never. And you have been great for the game of baseball. You have done what you have done, nobody will ever accomplish that again, because I was talking to all the guys out here that they're not 4 pitchers that will complete 31 games altogether.
Yeah, you're right. It's they've changed the game a little bit, and you still got it. We thank God we still got the bat and ball in the game. But I heard the other day, a week or two ago, that there was some conversation, and I don't know how reliable this is, but it was from a guy in Philly. He said he heard at the meetings, the last one they had, that they even discussed offensive teams and defensive teams, just like the football. You send your offense in, and then when you don't have the ball, you're on the defense. And they were talking like that. I mean, like, God forbid. I mean, you know why they won't do that? Because it would cost them a fortune.
Oh, absolutely. And you watch the games, okay? There's home runs at the home runs at the home runs. And these guys are not just hitting the home runs like over the fence. They're hitting the ball 3/4 of the way up the stands. And it's they all, you look at Altuve for Houston. Now, guys, look, what is he, 5'7", 5'8", hitting the ball as far as Frank Howard did. And that's, I mean, people don't do that. I mean, that's, let me ask you a question now. And they said that they de-juiced the baseball. How in the world did they de-juice it? I think they probably hit more home runs this year than they have hit this time last year. And
I think the ball is juiced a little bit. I think the cover of the ball is tighter than I ever remember. It really is tighter. And as far as the pitcher goes, listen, with all due respect to everybody in the big leagues, most of the pitchers suck. I mean, Detroit, this is the best example right now I could find, but Detroit, our club here, we got 25 guys, 24 guys, and I'm going to tell you, there isn't one person in Michigan that could name 9 guys. We grabbed every guy who hit 220, 240, and 250. I mean, why? I don't know, other than cutting back on money. It has to be money. And I think they're like, without the big guy, our first baseman, who
Carrera
got how to run to first base, our payroll is less, I think, 100 or less. 100 or less total payroll.
Yeah, just think about, remember when Marvin Miller came into spring training, and remember Donald Fair came in, and they told us we're going to strike. Remember that, Denny?
I sure do.
And we're scared to death because nobody's making any money, and they said everybody goes home. Say, how are we going to go home? Are the teams going to pay for us to go home? Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? They owe us meal money. I still owe rent to the in spring training. I think rent probably we paid down in Fort Lauderdale like $150 a month, and that was a lot of money to us. We didn't have the money to pay these guys, and they said, "Well, no, y'all strike. Y'all got to go home." And I mean, look what we did for these guys. And but I don't know about the other teams. But I know about the Yankees, George, what he did, one thing he did with the team. And, and when he left the team, and with Hal and, Jennifer, and before Hank passed away, they made sure that the guys on the team respect the older guys. And that's what they did. Okay. And when we go there for spring training, they take care of us. They embrace us like we're part of the family, and they really are great. And you ask the other teams, you go to Baltimore, Milwaukee, Detroit, and these guys said, they don't even have engagements. I think the only guys that would do engagement for the Tigers would Willie Horton, right? Is he the only guy that does still, if he does it anymore?
He makes appearances, and I don't get it. I mean, other than he's got this story about he was born in Detroit. He wasn't born in Detroit. He was born in West Virginia. And but they somehow, some way, listen, pretty good guy, really a good guy, and he just does what he does, and you can't you know what? You sure don't want to fight him. I mean, the guy could go through buildings. Him and Gates together would take care of everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just Willie. By the way, Willie drove into winning run when I won number 30, and it's incredible how good he became as an outfielder in the major leagues.
Oh yeah.
Really, for about 5, 6, 7 years, he was very, very good. He didn't have an arm, although he is the guy that threw out Flood at home plate the '68 World Series. And how he did that, I'll never know. I never saw him throw a ball to the home plate ever. Most of the time, he just pick it up and lob it to the shortstop or whoever was the cutoff guy, and turn around and just give the ball to the pitcher. Meanwhile, there's a guy running around third. So it was that kind of thing that they had to put in Willie, and Willie finally became the player that they wanted.
Let me tell you something, Diddy. Y'all had such a great team. When I came up, you came up in the bigs when you're 19. And I came up in the bigs when I was 19. And my first guy that I hit, I got up to bat with was Joe Coleman. And let me tell you something. That guy had pretty good stuff. Diddy he had pretty good stuff.
He did.
He had pretty good stuff. And your team, you had from Norm Cash, who's a crazy guy at Norm. And then you had, Gates at second, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Gates, and you had who did you have? Short. You had Eddie Brinkman.
No, not at that time.
Zorz was no.
Yeah, they traded me for Brinkman, and Brinkman then was a shortstop for the through the 70s, and until all of a sudden Alan Trammell showed up, and forget it, he wasn't only a great infielder, he was a great hitter. I mean, I think his career is 300.
Are you surprised that Whitaker never got the Hall of Fame attention that he should get?
Yes, I mean, everybody's screaming about it, that if our shortstop went in, why doesn't our second baseman go in? And that's been the subject of so many conversations around here. But you know what? I believe he'll get in. I got a feeling it's either this year or next year. And plus, Lou's never been the guy that goes out there and shakes your hand and says, "Hey, how's your wife? How are the kids? How's everybody? Where are you going tonight? I got a place to recommend to you." That type of stuff. He was never like that. He never spoke, and he never spoke to who who you got to talk to. You got to talk to the media in one form or another, and he just refused to do it. Yeah,
but he should be. Let me tell you. I mean, he was a. Trammell and Whitaker, they're good.
Yep.
They're good as anybody. I mean, you had those guys, they could pick it. And then you have Freehand, and then you have, instead of Phil, who did you have? Northrup, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you had those guys, and then you have, of course, the the stud out there in right field, Al Kaline, and then you have Willie Horton. You did not have a bad staff. Yeah, I mean, you had a great staff. I mean, y'all could play. I mean, it was the Tigers. And, I love going out to the old ballpark. I don't know if all our Facebook fans, they ever gone to the Detroit old stadium, but that was fun. It was an old stadium. The ballpark was, the water fountain probably was broken about 100,000 times. And I remember Roy White got it one time, did a karate chop. And I remember Piniella did a karate chop. And, but he was great. And I mean, and then you had, the announcer, Ernie Harwell, and he loved country music songs, and he's from Georgia, from Atlanta, where you lived and you played and you had a great club down there. And that was, Ernie Harwell, he was like Rizzuto, and they were so fun to listen to. Who was the other guy that you had with Harwell? Who was the other guy you had?
In the bullpen?
Yeah, no, in the booth up. upstairs?
Let me think here. Howard Stitzel was our engineer, and Ray Lane from time to time, and Jimmy Northrup, as a matter of fact, had retired at one time, and he was promised a job. And when he went up to get that all settled, so he didn't want to lose any money. Season was over, and he went into the office, walked into Campbell like we all do. You don't have to knock on his door; just walk in. He walked in. There were 10 executives there, and Northrop couldn't believe it. And then what they said was, "What do you want, Jim?" And Jim says, "I'd like to talk to you about going forward." And he says, "Yeah, call me Monday." And today was a Monday, and it was a disaster. Northrop was very, very good as a color guy, and because he had one story after another. And, and like I say, if you're going to be on the air and do the color, make sure you do the color, whether it's absolutely true or not. Tell the story. Let people hear, because most of the stories are 90% true.
Yeah, correct. People just, people want to hear baseball. And, this is what I have done, Denny, is when I got on this Facebook thing, and Lenny and Joe Garrido got me involved in this. And I had no idea. I am not, I had no idea anything about this social media, this computer, all this stuff. Didn't have any idea about this. But I started it because, you couldn't go out, you couldn't do this. So I've started this, and we've been doing this for almost 1 year. And you know what? I have met so many. Do you do any of this stuff in Detroit at all? Do you do Facebook at all? Do you do any of this stuff?
I do most of it. And as far as the podcast, we did a podcast for 2 years. And you know what happened? We ran out of gas. Everybody was, 65 plus. And after 2 years, in 2 years, we had almost 180 guests.
Yeah.
We just interviewed everybody. And the show became kind of the local sports info show.
Yeah.
And, but we never stopped talking about the issues and the players, and doing whatever was appropriate.
See, this is what we do. We do a lot of talking, and myself, they get mad at me because I talk too much, and they mute me an awful lot. But, hey, I'm a talker. And, I'm not the most introverted guy in the world, just like you, Denny. And we have a great time. And we really do. People just want to hear stories. People want to know baseball players. People want to know that you're a real person. That's all. Hey, this is the way I am. Out on the field, I was always nice to people. When it was out on the field, when you used to pitch, you'll get somebody in the kneecaps, or you get them in the hips. If somebody makes fun of you, and what would you have done now if somebody hits a home run and watch the ball as a home run go over the fence, and then flips the bat 25 feet up in the air? What would you have done? What would you have done? Tell me.
The next guy would have been flipped, because it looks as though they were showing up the pitcher, and you just tell. It's we all do it, and we all did it, and I know not the Pepitone story, but the one with Freehand. Freehand got knocked down by Dean Chance, and Dean, when Dean was healthy, he was some pitcher. He was the best I ever saw when he won the Cy Young, and he knocked Freehand down, and Freehand was a big guy. He's about 6'2", 6'3", and in great shape even now. He's got Alzheimer's, and they put him in a facility because they can't watch him all the time. So Bill is he's had Alzheimer's now for 8 or 10 years. Yeah. And the sadness of the story is, you wish that God would take him and get him out of here, because he would, if he had any idea where he was, he would be really pissed. I mean, he would be mad. So, you know, he was the best catcher I ever played with. He was a great guy. He managed the game well, made guys straighten up from time to time. You know, and he got along with the older guys like most of us did. But the older guys, you know, they were just looking down the bench and trying to feel out who was going to take their place. And I mean, we all went through that. We all go through that. And then definitely every pitcher is one pitch away from goodbye, you know, breaking their arm, hurt their arm. But like I mean, I retired with rotator cuff. And guess what? The rotator cuff, I tore it pretty good when we were playing. About 7 or 8 months ago, about a month or so after my wife died, I severed the entire rotator cuff. So it's I wish I'd have done it for money.
I know it. But, you know, hey, I don't know, Denny, I don't know if you knew I was writing a book about Thurman. Pick this up, Lenny. You got to show. I don't think Joe Joe, that's my book that's coming out on Tuesday and next week. That book is going to be unbelievable. It's in the top 10 now. We're very excited about it. It's going to be out next Tuesday. It's going to be out next Tuesday. But Denny, let me ask you a question now. When you pitched and, you know, you had all those great years and, you know, we had 1-year contracts. People don't realize nowadays, you know, you talk to fans and they said you had 1-year contracts. Yeah. And if you didn't produce that year, you have a very good shot that if you get sent down, you'll never get called back up. And these guys nowadays got a 3-4 year deal. And some of these guys got an 8 to 10 year deal. And you say, these owners got to be the dumbest people in the whole world, giving somebody $300 million, you know, for, you know, pitching, you know, hey, more power to these guys. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, we got these guys all the money that they wanted. But how are the owners could look at and say, well, we're going to give this guy 7 years, $175 million. Think about that. You could have bought both leagues back then. You know, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I'll just look at this, you know, you know, I'm taking Sanchez, for example, because he had such a bad year last year. And I think he's going to come out and, you know, have a pretty decent year this year. But, you know, for having such a bad year, instead of deducting X amount of dollars from him, they gave him over $1 million raise. Is that, you know, I mean, you know, they would give us $50 to $100. Remember they used to do that?
Yep, I do. Listen, let me tell you something. In my entire 10.5 year career, before I got hurt, I made $440,000 in my career. Not 1 year. That was my career, $440,000. And now, and by the way, I had a 3-year contract at one time when they traded me to Washington. Being with Ted Williams at that time was worse than being in jail. And until he took a ride in my airplane, he was ferocious. I was afraid he was violent because every other word was mother. You know what that is.
Only half a word.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, he used that C word a lot too. So it was unbelievable. I mean, the guy. Yet, if he stopped on the field and had something to say, everybody was around him right away. I've never seen anything like this with anybody else. Every time he would stop, all of a sudden he was doing the press conference. You never knew what he was going to do. And, well, as a matter of fact, he probably didn't either. But and I'll defend him a little bit too. We had a pitching staff that maybe was rated in, we were a good A-ball team. And I'm not sure if we could have beaten many A-ball teams either, but we just had a bad team. I mean, we had good guys. I mean, really good guys. And then, of course, we had Frank Howard. And Frank Howard, when we were on the road, would go out every night, and bring back Castle hamburgers. He'd bring 100 of them, you know, and he'd wake everybody up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you better be there, because Frank won't give you one the next time. And, you know, that was one way to save some money.
Oh, yeah, we didn't make any money. I think we made like $10 or $12 a day for meal money. And the biggest thing hey, you know what we used to do when we used to play in Detroit? We used to run out. You always go to Lindell's AC, okay? We'll go to Lindell's AC for a little while, do what we have to do. Then we would go, we would go to the place, what's the name of the place? We would go to Greektown, or we'll go to Willie Horton's place. Did you ever, what was his name of his club?
Did you ever go to Nemo's?
Nemo's, no.
That store is still open.
Is it really? But Greektown was fun. You know, it was good. I mean, we used to go to London Chop House and Carl's Chop House.
Great food.
Oh, that was good. You know, but we couldn't afford it. If we didn't give pictures to the owner or the maitre d', we couldn't afford a steak dinner. So
right.
we always gave them like pictures or a baseball. We used to go out to the ballpark. We always wound up taking a few baseballs. If nobody had any money to go to a nice place, we always would take baseballs and some stuff and give it to the maitre d' or to the owner or one of the big shot guys, and we would say, "Give us a steak, we'll give you a couple of signed baseballs." And they say, "Yeah, we'd love that. And if you want to go to a game, you know, we'll leave you a couple of tickets for a game." And then the next time we go back in the city, we know we have a place to eat. So we did that did that a few times. But we had, you know, I mean, hey, Denny, back in the days when we played, we didn't make any money, but did we have a great time?
We had a great time. I tell you, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Most of the guys were super guys, and everybody got along. I mean, it was, especially on our team. We had, when I first got there in 63, I think, yeah, September of 63, I thought I was going to be the first player coming through the locker room, and I was going to come there and sit and look at the ballpark. I'd never been in Detroit before, and lo and behold, I walk out there, and there's two guys sitting there. These are the first two major league guys I ever met, and they're, "Hey, how are you?" Both of them said. I said, "I'm fine. What is your name?" I said, "Dennis McLean." He said, "Oh yeah, we've heard about you," and that was it. And then I said, "I wish I could get one of them jackets." They ran out of jackets when I needed one. It was like 52, 53 degrees. And lo and behold, Calavito said, "Hang on a minute," took his jacket off and said, "Here, you're going to be here a lot longer than me. Take the jacket." And I thought that was a class act.
What a wonderful, wasn't he a wonderful guy? He's still alive.
He was one of the best people you'd ever meet. He was outgoing. He would stop, sign autographs, and all the other stuff. And Koufax wasn't that kind of guy, but Koufax was nice to the public. I don't think he ever had a bad moment with the public, but the other guy was just a super player, super guy. I mean, we had a lot of, and you're right, we made no money. I mean, literally no money. Most money ever made in 1 year was 90. And by the time you travel to LA 4 or 5 times, and you travel to Oakland, travel to Chicago, all the big cities, you don't have any money left. I used to our traveling secretary, Charlie Creedon was his name. He was a nasty son of a bitch, but he one thing about him, he said, everybody who needs money on this, we had a 2-week trip coming up, and he said, anybody who needs extra money, let me know. All 25 of us raised our arm.
How about if you went to New York? That money's already gone. Or if you didn't,
It's already gone. Plus we played poker and pinochle all the time.
Yeah, on the plane, that's what you did. Half the guys, they ran out of meal money, and half the guys, and the meal money and the food at the ballpark, people don't realize nowadays they go there and it's like a 5-star restaurant. You tell them what you want. Well, I want a fillet, or I want a strip, medium well. I would like some stone crabs, and I like some shrimp. I want a shrimp dish. I want key lime pie. This is what these guys do. We go there. The worst place we have ever been was in Cleveland. I don't know what your worst place was, Diddy, but Cleveland was the worst place. We had like cheese and what did we have? A cheese sandwich. That's all we had. We didn't even have like chicken.
Very bad, very bad. Did you guys ever, in Cleveland, there was a restaurant club type place called Theatrical. Did you guys
the best. Yeah, that's when Billy got in trouble a few times, Billy got in trouble a few times. There was always at the piano bar, but you knew, hey, we're not telling anything people don't know. When Billy was at a place, the ball players, if you had a good game, that might be one thing. If you didn't have a good ball game, if you go in the same place with Billy and he's been there for a little while, you don't want to, get around him because, he'll get up in your face and, he'll say something and, you just don't want to do that. But the guy who owned the Theatrical, I don't know if you knew a guy named Mushy Wexler. He was the guy that,
at the time, I think he was connected to the mob in Cleveland.
Correct. Yes, and that was the only place to eat back then. But they had I used to go eat. Remember, Mike Hegan used to be the first baseman for the Yankees, and
Yes,
Jim Hegan was his father. You remember Jim Hegan, right?
Yep.
Okay. We used to go to this. It's a small luncheonette. It was always open after the ball games, and a lot of the ball players used to go in there. Great hamburgers, really great hamburgers. But but he gave us for a price of the White Castle. We couldn't really go to the White. Hey, everybody used to go to the White Castle because we used to get like 40, 50 hamburgers for $5. That was the best thing. But Joe, I know you got some questions you want to ask. Ask Denny some questions.
How you doing, Denny? This is Joe.
Hey, Joe, how you doing, pal?
All right. I met you about a year and a half ago. It was a pleasure, and we've kept in touch. But one question I had for you was, if you look at today's pitching, and I know you watch a little bit of baseball today, you had over 105 complete games, and I bet you if you took every pitcher in baseball right now, they don't have half that number. Right. When you see the pitchers coming out after 62 pitches and 4 1/3 inning, in your day, you had a lot of pride in throwing complete games. What do you see about today's game?
Well, that's the biggest change, I think, in the game. And by the way, they are talking about move because the pitchers at times are so awesome. I don't agree with it. They're so awesome because look at all the home runs they give up, records, and so are some of the distances. That's a little bit of the ball, but that's bad pitching. I don't care how pumped up the baseball is. You still got to hit it, and if you can't hit the ball away, you can't hit the ball inside. You're going to have a long day, and the manager is going to get in your face. But I didn't play for Billy, but I was there when in New York. It happened in New York, and he and Freehan got into an argument. First of all, they were just talking about the way to play certain guys. We wanted the older guys, older guys wanted the shift. We wanted to use the shift for almost every hitter. We'd have been really way ahead of our time. My father-in-law, by the way, before I finish that story, my father-in-law, by the way, is the one that did the shift, Lou Boudreau, in 1948. That's when the shift came into being, when he did it against Ted Williams. Anyway, they're sitting in the dugout, and all of a sudden, the whole park, and it's BP time at batting practice, and lo and behold, they're talking and getting louder and louder and louder, and Freehand says, "If you move your hands," because everybody knew Willie Martin would swing first, right? I mean, he would never give you a chance, and so he just kept babbling and babbling and babbling, and he went to his arm moved just barely. Now you got a whole team and a half watching this, listening, and Freehand says, "Now, do you still want to manage, or do you want to let us play baseball?" And he turned around, never said another word to Freehand while he was there.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Billy was a different type of character when, he managed and, and whatever. But the good part of it, when he managed us, we had a pretty good team, and he really never bothered us that much. But Billy was funny. Billy didn't come in a lot of times to about the fourth or fifth inning. And, you knew Billy was going to come in because we're at the ballpark, and, the lineup card is already put up. And they already got the lineup card from the night before. So you knew Billy wasn't going to come in for the fourth or fifth inning. And when he would always come in, he always wore his shades. And when that happens like that, he's not going to.
We're having Billy's son on next week.
I know, but Billy was, no, everybody knows, no. Billy, Billy would fight for you. Okay, one more minute. Billy would fight for you. This is a conversation for next time. When we got Billy Jr., we'll talk about his father. Hey, Denny, first thing, please, I'm so sorry about your wife, and I really am. And, I know how much you cared about her. But hey, she's in a better place, big guy. She's looking at all this crap that's going on now. And hopefully, I know you're going to be okay. If you need us for anything, please don't hesitate. We're brothers. Remember that, big guy. I love you, big guy. I know we're going to see each other again soon. But I love you, and thank you very much. And then we'll get this Zoom thing down pat. We'll get this thing zoomed down pat. And you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Because I'd love to do this the right way. It'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, we'd love to have you back on again. Definitely. Absolutely.
And then, I'll show you around the house the different stuff we've been collecting for years, and some stuff that I had can I do another minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
We've had an auction. I got so much stuff. We did a 3-day, 4-day auction in the house here, and lo and behold, we sold over 1,000 items.
Really?
1,000 items. We were so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I just was in shock. So that was my way of understanding what, it made it so personal, because everybody came over and said hello. Everybody did the pump with the hands, the welcoming. I mean, people were good, and it was just a blessing for that to work so well. But it's amazing. It's an amazing game. It's an amazing time. It was amazing. It still is, and it's still the best game in the world.
It is, Denny. Hey, let me tell you something. They love you, big guy. You have done so much for for baseball. You're going to be in record books, not just in record books. You're a great guy to people, and they love you wherever you go, wherever I have been with you. We love you. You have been great to people. I appreciate this, big guy. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you need us, but we do love you, big guy.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great evening. Have a great weekend and have a great